What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue. Let me get started over here on Spotify because I got some milestones that Spotify threw up there for me. Bang. 5 countries. I'm in 5 countries. Listen to me. You believe that, man? So let's get started, man. I'm excited. What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life, coming at you today, Thursday, December 2nd, with my daily podcast. I think it's like episode 176, maybe 177, not sure, close to one of those. But anyway, I am talking today, before I get into it, I told you guys before on YouTube and now on Spotify that I am in 5 countries right now. 5 countries my podcast is being listened to, so I'm extremely excited about that. And I've put almost 5,000 minutes. I think it was minutes. I don't remember now. 5,000 minutes of content out there, right? So I am talking, and I better drink me some tea. Drink me some tea. On that note, but anyway, guys, I'm excited. What a great day! Just to be reminded by that, and because sometimes, when you're plugging away and you're going at it and you're going hard, you get down on yourself. Which is why I want to talk about today's podcast, and it is about positivity, right? Or maybe it's not, right? The truth is, it is not about positivity, but it is about the question of the day. And the question of the day is, do you really need to be positive to have success in your life? And a lot of people ask me that, man. I get this a whole lot because the truth is, I am very, very excited about life a lot of times, right? I'm very, very positive. I'm very, very upbeat. I have a constant musical playing in my head, which always makes me smile and laugh. And so I always have that upbeat positivity going on in my life. But the truth is, here it is. The biggest question, right? The biggest question that I get from people when I talk to them about being happy or having a positive outlook on life is, do I really need to be? Do I need to be? Right? That is you. That's not me. And so, despite the fact that I probably want tons of people or more people to be positive, right? It is not a prerequisite. It is not a prerequisite, right? And so here's the deal, man. Throughout my 28-year career, I have met thousands, hundreds of thousands of people throughout my law enforcement career. And unfortunately, due to their circumstances, most of them, right, they had no reason to be happy or be positive about anything, right? So a lot of those people that I've met throughout my law enforcement career, they're already at their lowest moment in their life. So no, they're not happy, and no, they don't have a damn thing to be positive about, as what they would tell me, right? So and that was just the criminals, right? How about this? The other thousands of people that I worked with, right, due to the often dark nature of our job, they allowed their life to be affected by the criminal element that we are around. So happiness and positivity for them was also rarely spoke of, right? It was rarely spoke of. Believe it or not, it's so strange, right? In law enforcement community, a lot of times happiness, man, is looked upon as a weakness, right? It's looked upon as a weakness. Like, people look at you like, what are you so happy about? And they look at you in a negative way, like they're almost angry that you're happy, that you should always be in a perpetually bad mood, perpetually angry, and or perpetually a pessimist, which is many people that I've been around, right? And so when I talk about positivity, or when I try to talk about being positive and being happy, um, it was very, very difficult in my surroundings or my peers, right? In my environment. Most of the people around me did not want to hear that. So when it came to me talking positivity or happiness, hey, I had to seek that elsewhere. And that was me trying to get into sales and trying to do other things outside of work. And I always tell people, if you're super positive and everybody around you is extremely negative, then maybe you should get outside of that environment and start to interact with people who are more like you. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue on, right? Let's continue on. Now, I would also like to say this, guys, that for me, there was no way to live but being positive. But just because I felt this way personally, right? Just because I felt this way doesn't mean others around me were not succeeding in their chosen path. So my philosophy, and I came up this way because I dealt with a lot of motivational speakers and authors and stuff like that, and tons of people that push positivity. And so I brought into this. I brought into this in my life because it made me feel good inside, right? I cling to that type of feeling. That was just who I was and who I was around. And I felt like when being positive and being happy, I was escaping, the world and the lifestyle that I grew up in, right? I grew up in a really, really bad neighborhood with tons of bad things happening on a regular basis. So, yes, I wanted to be positive and happy and escape that. So I began to just be more grateful and appreciate things a whole lot more, right? And I'm not telling everybody to be that way. You don't have to be that way. You can be any way you want, man. But that's just one of the things that I was talking about. But here we go, right? Now, some of the negative people that I've met, right, they developed an entirely different way to live through negative thinking, right? And I'm talking about not just live, but succeeding, winning at things, right? Promotions and good businesses and succeeding in tons of stuff and still being extremely negative. Still being extremely negative in their thought process, extremely pessimistic in everything they did. And so I was trying to figure out why, believe it or not, right? Now, I know that most people will tell you that you need to have a positive attitude in order to succeed in life, right? I was pushing that for a long time myself. But the truth is, success doesn't care whether you are positive or negative. Success doesn't care, man. Success don't have a hand in how you're feeling, right? Only thing success cares about is that you're right. You have to be right. So whether you're positive and right or whether you're negative and right, as long as you're right in what you're doing and your actions, you're going to succeed. So that is like the truth. That is like the main shoe drop to the question of my podcast. Right? So as much as I run around telling people, right? As much as I run around telling people to be positive, and if that's not you, right? Then guess what? Don't change. If you are not a positive person naturally, then don't change. Be who you are, right? Be who you are, because I think that that is more important than anything else, right? Just make sure that whatever you do in your life, you do it right. Right? You do it right. So you don't have to do it the positive way. Right? How positive people do it. Rah, 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 cheer, cheer, high fives, hands up in the air, excited, smiling, chest bumping, everything. You don't have to do it that way. You could do it as miserable and as sad and as angry or whatever you're doing. Whatever makes it right for you. You can do it. okay, and be successful at it, right? And here's the deal, right? It's so funny that I push positivity and optimism and happiness because you see, my wife, my wife is one of those people who succeeds through pessimism. That's right. She succeeds through pessimism, and I marvel at it. That how does she? How does that happen? How does she get it done? And does it take the joy out of her life? And I always try to figure that out. And I guess I'll continue to try to figure that out as we go through our journey in life together. See, the truth is, she is not one of those people who look at the glass half empty or look at the glass half full. No, what my wife will do is she will ask the question of who didn't do their job, right? And fill the glass up completely. Or the even more important question maybe she would ask is who drank the water in the glass, all right? And who wasn't paying attention to it? And see, so when you are always positive and you go through life in a certain way, you always have, I guess, a certain path, a certain track. So that certain track leads you to a certain line of questioning, and those certain lines of questioning give you specific answers that people get who are positive. And a lot of times the people think that who are positive, that those are the only answers to success, right? So when you are not positive and you're a pessimist and you are not always happy and joyous and running around and jumping around with all this excitement, right? You ask a totally different group of questions, and those questions lead you to success and the best way you can as yourself, who you are, right? You're a pessimist. You think negatively about most things. And see, I used to think it was wrong, right? I used to think it was wrong, and the funny thing is, most positive people think it's wrong, right? And I had to learn this. I had to learn that what you think, right, only matters in your life, right? It doesn't matter in anybody else's life around you. So what you think is right, okay, and I'm not talking about moral issues about killing people and all that other stuff, right? What you think is right in your life is one thing, and that is your right to think that way, okay? And then what someone else thinks in their life is totally completely their business and how they think it. And you actually have no right to try to force another person to think in your path to make you feel better. Okay? You have to learn how to accept how people think, and you have to learn how to, as they say, roll with it. Roll with it, and as long as it doesn't disrupt your life in any shape, form, or fashion, take away your freedoms and your liberties and your life, then hey, that is how they think. So you have to learn how to understand that. And I think if more of us began to understand that, we would get along a whole lot better, right? And it's not even about how people talk about culturally and race and all this other factors that they try to put into why people don't get along. The truth is that a lot of people try to make other people think and act like them so that they feel better. And the truth is that no, you shouldn't try to do that. You should accept the person for who they are and let them do their thing in their life. Okay? And it would eliminate a whole lot of BS that goes on in this world right now. You know, especially with everything being exposed and everything being shown on social media. If you can look at somebody objectively and say, hey, it's great. They're happy or unhappy or whatever they are in this case, and let them live their life how they are, then that is one of the steps that you need to take to having just a good life all around and a good environment in this world. So that's just my little platform speech real quick, guys. But let's get back to what we're talking about, man. Now, when you are around somebody, right? And let's get back to, I was talking about my wife. When you are around someone who contrasts you, right? Like I'm an optimist, she's a pessimist, right? Someone who contrasts you in this way, it can be a very exciting journey, right? It can be a very exciting journey because of the fact that it forces you to see things from someone else's perspective. Listen, guys, in life, I think one of the most important things in life and having a life lived and a life fulfilled is being able to live a life, right? As we talked about the other day, sometimes everything is in the same moment, right? To have a full life lived in the same moment in time and see like hundreds and thousands of different perspectives of how to take things in an entire environment, right? Just think of this, right? We could all be standing on the edge of the water at the beach and all of us watching the sun come up, and every single one of us see something different, feel something different, think something different, and have a different perspective on that same sunrise. How powerful is that to be able to accept all of these things and then have them all be a part of your life? I think that is powerful, guys. And it's just something that hit me that I was thinking about. And I felt that, man, if more people would learn to accept more people, then it would just be a beautiful life for people all around. And an exciting journey, man, exciting journey. So in this journey that I'm talking about, guys, I have learned a few things. I have learned a few things living with somebody who is in direct contrast with me, right? The first thing is that I just want to say this. I am not always positive, guys. I'm not always positive, and I'm not always happy, right? But the one thing I learned about myself is I enjoy bringing that emotion of happiness to others. So what I learned how to do was to continuously re-energize when I'm around people, right? When I'm around people, I get re-energized. I re-energize myself, okay? And I re-energize myself through helping others, through helping people. And then when it comes that moment that I need to, I grieve in private when it is necessary. So I grieve and I beat myself up sometimes and I feel really bad about myself. And so most of the time I enjoy just getting out and getting around people because I don't like those grieving moments. I don't like those moments where I'm sitting and sulking and just within myself, beating myself up. So I do get energized and I do get very, very powerful around people. And so two things that I learned about myself other than that is exercise and talking. Exercise and talking always helps me to lift up my spirits when I'm feeling like I'm drained, right? So that's the thing. The second thing that I learned was that success has no rules, right? I used to think that success had a specific rules that I needed to follow in order to achieve success, right? When it comes to negative or positive people, there is no rules for success, right? And I'll tell you this, in this instance, I have watched success continuously slip through my hands no matter how hard I worked, while at the same time, right, falling into someone else's hands like a damsel in distress, right, with them not even giving a tenth of my effort. So how is that, right? How is that? It is because success has no rules. It doesn't matter how hard you work or how hard you don't work, or it doesn't matter how positive you are or how negative you are or how happy you are. As I told you guys before, success doesn't care what you think. It doesn't care what you think, right? The only rule to success is that whatever you're doing, you do it right. That's it. That's it. And you don't have to add no emotion to it, no feeling to it, no nothing, right? You don't have to. I tell people, why do you take the joy out of your success? Guess what? You don't have to have joy in your success either. You could just do. I met tons of people who have made millions of dollars and they are miserable as they want to be. But they just do it because, hey, listen, this is what I do. That's what they say to me. This is what I do, man. I said, you're not happy? You're not excited? Like, you made like $100,000 in a month? You're not excited? Nah, this is what I do. I'm not excited. This is what I do, you know? And so it always shocks me that that's how they feel about it. Like, and I think to myself, like me, I would be like super excited and super happy and would bring me all type of happiness and joy. But hey, success doesn't care what I think. And that is amazing that when you begin to realize that, your life begins to change, right? Because you don't have to be happy to get things right. You don't have to feel good about something you're doing to get things right. You don't have to feel that way. So when you start understanding that, then you just start doing, right? You start being consistent, you start doing. And that's so important. So as I say, guys, here I am, right? I'm at a pass, right, in my life. Trying to convince people around me, right, to be positive, but at the same time, right, realizing that people can also strive and have the life that they want being negative, right? So it puts me at a pass, right? And so I tell people, right, your negative attitude will not stop you from succeeding in whatever you choose to do in your life. Your negative attitude is not going to stop you. And there are tons of people who are negative. And listen, I've watched people, you've seen them, actors and actresses who are as about as suicidal as they want to be. Train wrecks for a life. And they're incredible actors or actresses, right? Some of them could end up committing suicide, which obviously I don't suggest that you walk down that path of negativity, but some of them hate themselves, but they're just great at what they do. So you can have success in life no matter how you feel or how you think about yourself or how you feel about yourself. So whatever you choose to pursue in life, you can be successful at it, right? That is the deal. If this is you, if you are a negative person, right, understand first and foremost that it's a part of you, right? If you are a pessimist, that's what you are. You're a pessimist. It is a part of you, right? And so I tell people, if that is you, then embrace it. Embrace it and learn to use it well. Use it to your advantage, man. Use it to your advantage. I tell people, if you are negative, pessimist, and the voices in your head, right, are constantly telling you that you can't do something, right, or that it's not possible for you to do it, or the world is against you, right? So, because we all hear those voices, even positive people hear those voices. But if you're a negative pessimist, I would tell you right here, right now, don't focus your energy on the voices. Ignore them. You hear the voices and ignore them. I promise you, as I've spoken about in many other podcasts, is that those voices are probably not your voices that telling you can't do it. It's other voices of people around you and people you surround yourself with, especially because we surround ourselves with like-minded people. You probably surround yourself with more pessimists and more negative people, and they are constantly telling you what they can't do or what you can't do or what people can't do or everything that's against you. So those voices are probably not even your voices. They are echoes of your circle of influence, the people around you. So I would tell you, ignore them. Ignore the voices, right? And focus on the path. Focus on getting it right. Focus on doing what you need to do for success. Because here's the deal, right? Even if you believe you can't do it, success doesn't care if you do it right. So you can have, and I've had many things in my life, and I'm positive that I believed that I could not do, and I did it anyway. And I succeeded. And success doesn't care whether you believe it or not, right? Change, a lot of people say change comes, right, before success. When the truth is that change doesn't have to come before success. You know, you may want to change before success, but the fact of the matter is, as I told you before, people have done tenth of the work and have had success. And after they've had success, then they began to change because they didn't want to go back to where they were before, right? Of not having success. So success doesn't always come before change. Change doesn't always come before success, and vice versa, right? So, like I told you guys, the only rule in success is that you do it right, guys. And so I want to tell you guys this, right? No matter what your shortcomings are in life, right? Learn to use them. Learn to use your shortcomings, because instead of using them as a crutch, right? Something that holds you back, use them to your advantage. Use them. As I said before, a lot of times when you are asking yourself those specific questions that other people don't ask because everybody else is stuck on an entirely different point of view, that comes from you. That comes from you, the pessimist. That comes from you, the negative person. That comes from you who learn how to ask the right question just because you're negative. And that one question may lead to your success. So hopefully you guys got the most out of this podcast. I'm very, very excited about it anyway. Okay, even though you guys are not, you negative guys are not excited about it. You pessimists probably think that you can't do the same thing that I've done. And you positive people, bang, gave me a high five. That's right, man. That's right. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up today. You guys make sure you hop on over to Lieutenant Sal Blue and pick up your copy of my book, Top 25 Mistakes En Route to the Good Life. Pick up that copy. It is full of delicious goodness when it comes to the world of mistakes, man. I made tons of them, right? And I'm just giving you some of my top 25, and I give you my daily mistakes on my daily podcast. So these are just some of the things that I see in life each and every day, and I'm trying to bring them to you as often as possible. So keep pushing forward, keep going, guys, and make sure you follow me on all the social medias, from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram, to Reddit to Blogger, and check me out, man. All at Lieutenant Sal Blue. All right, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with my next podcast, and you guys have a fantastic evening, or not have a fantastic evening, or who knows, right? This is a great conversation, man. You guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Deuces.